Nerdly presents the feed where the reels unwind. Off the real podcast, digging deep in the grind. 80 flicks, low cash, big dreams in the frame. No blockbuster hype, just the realest in the game.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Nerdly Presents Off the Reel, and this is an Off the Reel review. Today we are talking about a lower budget movie, Fear Below, from director Matthew Holmes. It's a little bit Aussie, it's a little bit scary, and it's got sharks. Who doesn't love sharks? And let's be honest, in 2025, it seems to be another year for the sharks making a comeback. We've got a couple of films coming out. I do like to cover everything from the big budget, the low budget, and the no budget, and this definitely falls a little bit in that category. Although there is a budget and there are some very, very fine actors on show. I will follow my usual routine and I'll talk about the plot of this movie and then the cast and crew of this movie. I'll get into what I did and didn't like about this movie before giving you my Nerdly Presents Off the Reel review rating. That is just my rating. You can go over to nerdly.co.uk and see what other people are saying over there. We have got plenty of writers. Some of them may have watched this movie, so you can check out their reviews too. Yeah, so it's a pretty damn simple premise. The synopsis on IMDb would tell you that a ragtag team of divers attempting to salvage a sunken car from a river are thwarted by a highly aggressive bull shark. That is to say that the movie kicks off with some gangsters. They've stolen some money, they're driving through the night, and one of them drives straight into a river. It's a murky river, a dirty river, and they barely escape with their lives. So now they could go and get a crane and they could lift the car out. However, that's going to bring up a lot of questions. So what they decide to do is, let's find some local divers. Those local divers can go down there, get that gold, bring it back up, happy days. So they go and they find themselves a group of divers. There's 3 of them, in fact. And these guys are pretty much down on their luck, need money, so they will take any job that comes along. They take this job, they don't really know what they're getting into, but it's money. So when they get there, they get down into the water. 2 of them go down. It is really dark, dingy, dirty. They find the car. They find what they don't know is the gold. However, what they also find is a badass bull shark. This thing is massive and it's freaking angry. It doesn't want people in its turf, and that is the movie. That's pretty much the plot of the movie. They go down there, they see there's a bull shark, they come back up, they're not very happy. The gangsters won't let them leave because they want their gold, and it just escalates from there to there to there. There's not really much else to say about the plot without going into spoiler territory, and we don't want to do that today, so let's just get into our cast and crew. And I'm going to start with our divers, our would-be heroes of the movie, starting with Clara Bennett, played by Hermione Corfield, who is kind of the main star of the show. She's our female lead, and she's the one that we're going to be rooting for most of the movie. We do want to root for all 3 of our divers, but she's kind of the main thing keeping us going. I really did enjoy Hermione Corfield in this role. She's doing it really well. She's doing her character a good service, and when we kind of realize that actually they're in a sticky situation, she's going to be the one that we need to get out of this situation, you do really root for her. I can't say I've seen this actress in anything else apart from this. I did look through her IMDb and she does have some credits, but mostly bit parts in bigger movies. She's great in this. She holds the team together, and I can't say that she did anything wrong. Arthur Angel is in there as Ernie Morgan. He is the guy that kind of owns the dive team and gets our team into this sticky situation. I only really know Arthur Angel from the movie West of Sunshine, which came out a couple of years ago. A movie I absolutely adored, but it was great to see him in this. And in this, he's fun. He's kind of the comedy, the humour that sort of keeps the movie moving along, that even though it's not meant to be funny or humorous, he just kind of is. He's a hopeless degenerate, and we kind of love him for it. Jacob Juniour Nayinggul plays Jimmy, and Jimmy is sort of like the other member of the team who's part of the divers, who's going to bring a little bit of a dynamic, because yes, we know he can do what he needs to do, and we know all of that, but you have to remember that the movie's also set in the 1940s, so it's sort of going to bring up slight issues of racism and whatnot, and we do get that coming towards Jimmy's character, which kind of just makes you love Jimmy even more. And then we get to our baddies. We have Josh McConville, who plays Yanis, who's a very dark, very mysterious, very brooding kind of villain. I really liked him in the role. His sort of like back and forth with Jimmy is ongoing throughout the movie and really does set a tone that is a little bit puts you on edge, and I loved Josh McConville in that role. Again, another actor that I've not seen in a great deal, but he has done a lot of bit parts. Then we have my main villain of the movie, and the man I think is a scene stealer. He's a showstopper in this movie. We've got Jake Ryan. Now, I have watched a few movies with Jake Ryan up until now, and I always tend to rate him. The movie Savages or the movie Kane. Like, I was a big fan of Jake Ryan in both those movies. You want to go even further back, he did like 10 episodes of Underbelly back in the day, and he also was in Wentworth as well. This is an Australian actor that I am very, very familiar with, and I really, really like. So when he's in a role like this and he's doing something a little bit different and really is just being an asshole, but kind of a lovable asshole, I'm all about Jake Ryan in those roles. I loved him in this as Dylan the Bull Maddock, and I really wanted a little bit more of him, but then when you do get to that point of, okay, it's time for the bad guy to get his comeuppance, you kind of love it, and you kind of do want to see him get that, and he gets it in a big bad way. Loved Jake Ryan in this movie. He almost is the main reason I stay with it right the way throughout. As I say, it's a little bit of a period piece, and we are dealing with sharks. Not exactly my favourite things in the world, but he makes it completely believable, and when it does get surreal and stupid, he keeps it grounded in a different kind of way. Jake Ryan, big fan of that actor. I'm no stranger to Matthew Holmes with movies like The Legend of Ben Hall and The Cost. These are movies that I know of. These are movies that I've seen. I don't think I've actually reviewed either of those movies on this channel, but I've definitely seen them. And I know of Matthew Holmes as a writer-director. So it was really cool to see his name on this, and it's one of the other reasons that I dove right into it. And of course, Jake Ryan being in there, I'm all about that kind of thing. So it was good to see that, and it was good to see that he brought a little bit of something different with a little bit of his own flair. When we get into the water, we might as well talk about what I did and didn't like about the movie. And what I did really like was actually the diving scenes. I was a little bit worried, how are we going to do this? It's murky, it's dark, it's horrible down there, it's dingy, but they really create an atmosphere of just like tension that you can't really fake. This is also down to the acting. Our leading cast are all very good. They've cast very well, and they've made some really good choices in that light. But I did like how they just build the tension. They build the tension. They didn't go straight to the shark just coming out and trying to eat people. And then once we do know the shark is down there, we don't just spend a lot of time with the shark attacking them. It only attacks when it wants to attack. In fact, they make a point of having that kind of thing where it's gone for a little while and then kind of just comes back. And when it does come back, you shit your pants all over again. Yeah, I was a big fan of all of that kind of thing. I think the music in this movie, setting that 1940s vibe, really did a fantastic job. They did a great job with the sound and the score on this film. So that's another thing that I could only just really rave about. Cinematography, yeah, okay, it's not perfect, but it does look good for the time it's meant to be. I'm not going to sit here and say this movie's absolutely perfect down the line, because that would be very stupid of me. You can learn a lot of different things as you go, but this movie didn't do a great deal of things wrong. It does pace it really, really nicely. Things that I didn't like, there's not a lot of them, other than maybe it was just a bit too short. I feel like we could have went a little bit further. We could have dove into the gangster aspect of the movie a little bit more. But then when you really think about it, once they know the shark is down there, they only want to go 1 or 2 times. They don't want to keep going down there, so they are going to get this done ASAP, and that's kind of the way they go with the movie, so I can't really knock it down for that at all. I was a fan. This was a great little movie. It was a fun little movie. It gets in, it gets out, and it does what it's supposed to. It doesn't waste any real time in getting through the main plot beats of what we're supposed to be seeing, and I liked it for that. It trims a lot of fat, but also builds that tension in a nice, sexy way that I would always hope a movie like this would build the tension. The shark looked great. Again, much like Jaws, you don't see a lot of the shark, but when you do see the shark, it looks pretty badass. So they win on that front as well. I'm going to give this movie a 4 out of 5. It's not perfect by a long shot. I think it does a really good job of doing what it's meant to do on the budget that it has. It doesn't look like a massive budget, but it definitely does have a budget, which is great because that means we get to see creators and creatives, directors, people behind the scenes working creatively to actually get around those limitations but still bring us a thoroughly entertaining and a thoroughly enjoyable movie. Please do check out Fear Below when it comes out. Make sure you check it out. I hope you do enjoy it. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of this movie. It's a great little film that you should all check out. If you like shark movies, if you like gangsters, if you like 1940s period pieces, this movie is going to tick every single box for you. I genuinely had a good time with it, and yeah, so there is that. My name's been Kevin Halden. This has been Nerdly Presents Off the Reel, an off the reel review of the movie Fear Below. Please do check it out and let me know what you think in the comments down below. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and ding that notification bell, and it will let you know whenever I drop a new episode, whether it be a review, an interview, or anything like that. I will see you on the next one.